Captain Bill's V-25. With the possible exception of Vermilion's Moe's brothers, both the art and craft required to construct and repair wooden boats is become a very rare, almost extinct vocation about the Great Lakes. The first wooden vessel constructed in Vermilion, on record, was Captain William Austin's schooner, Friendship II, in 1812. The last, one may safely conclude, is yet to be built. But the heyday of shipbuilding in our pretty city faded toward the end of the 19th century and virtually disappeared in the early years of the 20th century, as the industry turned toward building larger vessels of iron and steel. While the shipbuilding industry declined in Vermilion, for a time numerous commercial wooden craft would lay over in the harbor during the winter months for repairs, etc. The point of the matter is that the craftsmen and materials needed to maintain the remaining vessels lingered in Vermilion for a number of years after the industry itself dissolved. The artisans who lingered along the western banks of the river otherwise busied themselves with fabricating small skiffs and dinghies, some propelled by sails, and some by gasoline engines. One of the best known of them, historically, was George Getz, whose place once sat between the present-day waterworks and the sail loft/French restaurant. A younger, lesser-known fellow was William H. Daniels. Captain Bill, as Daniels came to be known along the waterfront, was born in Berlin Heights, Ohio, about 1904. He died in 1992. Growing up near Lake Erie, he had very early in life become interested in boats and boating. As a youngster, he built several, and had also become a proficient sailor as a hobby. But by the time he came to Vermilion, about 1930, the hobby had become his profession. Initially, he worked repairing large vessels and built, as previously mentioned, several skiffs and dinghies. By 1935 or 36, he established his own business in the basement of the Horton Building at the foot of Ferry Street, often called the Sail Loft Building. By 1938, Captain Bill, along with his assistants William Eisenhower and Mrs. Daniels, who made the sails, had built about 12 Comet-class sailboats. In addition to this, Daniels had dreamed of designing a purely freshwater cabin yacht. Noting that saltwater craft vary somewhat in their lines, a concave bow and less freeboard than their freshwater counterparts, he envisioned that a design with a convex box and more freeboard, among some other changes, would be better adapted to the short, choppy waters found on the inland lakes. After making a model, Daniels had local artist Dean Quigley draw up plans, and the result was a boat, here pictured with Captain Bill and William Eisenhower. He called the V-25, meaning Vermilion 25-footer. The vessel in the bottom photo is the Viking II, the fourth V-25 to be built. When the photo was taken, Captain Bill had orders for 3 additional vessels and had been forced to refuse several more orders because of the limited production capacity of his shop. The top photograph shows the first 3 V-25s, the Mibit, the Serene, and the Pixie II, on the east side of the river just across from the sail loft in 1938. At the time of production, the hope was that the V-25 would eventually join the Comet and the Star-class boats as a popular racing vessel. Whether that ever became a reality is unknown. As a footnote, it should be noted that Captain Bill's dream boat was not entirely made of wood, but was, entirely, a product of Vermilion. Even the iron keel was cast here, at the Old Noon Foundry just west of the village. And so it was, in just a yesteryear.